Good morning, one heart, one mind center for spiritual living. And let's kick our service off with our fabulous Jess Powers.
Hello, good morning.
There we go.
I'm feeling some Eddie Watkins Jr. this morning, so, you know, we got this classic. We come together, baby. Take a look at the person next to you. Say God loves you and I love you too. Feel the love in the Zoom room sanctuary. Raise your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. Sing it. We come together. We come together. We come together. Take a look at the person next to you. Y'all should just some Brady Bunch stuff. Say, I recognize the God in you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Raise your voice and repeat after me. Here we go. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. Together in the name of love in every walk of life, every creed and color. Can we reunite in honor of the God in each other? Take a look at the person next to you. Say namaste, I bow to you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. And everywhere is the sanctuary. Raise your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. One more time. We come together. We come together. We come together in the name of love.
Looking for my unmute. There we are. Oh, and we're together. And here we are. Oh, more people came on. Sorry, I popped away for a minute because I realized that my Ethernet cable wasn't connected and I was glitchy. I hope that didn't come across to you guys as glitchy. But anyway, I fixed it. So here we are on this beautiful last Sunday in April. What a great day. And Ralane is our practitioner of the day today. Good morning, Ralane.
Good morning. So I thought I'd read a little story and then do a prayer. And so the story title is called The Sunbeam by Ronnie McIntosh. And it's from the Pathways of Being, Living in Grace. My day just seemed to get started all wrong. First, I had overslept, which made me late for work. Getting a late start put me behind schedule. All morning long, I rushed around trying to get caught up, but to no avail. It was beginning to look like the whole day was going to be one of those days when everything goes wrong. Then, as if things weren't bad enough already, the boss informed me that I had to make a long trip to Evansville, Indiana, and then back to Paducah, Kentucky. I don't like this at all, I was thinking to myself as I drove to Evansville, having to work overtime on a day like this one. After loading at Evansville, I started the long trip back home. Fighting the heavy traffic didn't help my mental outlook a bit, although I finally began to mellow out a little bit when I reached the interstate, and the miles started to roll away. Finally, separated from activity of the city, I was able to relax and soothe my nerves for the first time that day. Heading west on Interstate 24, I watched the sun as it began to set. I noticed the truly beautiful colors of the sky, which was starting to turn to a lovely red hue as the sun slowly disappeared behind the hills. About that time, I saw a sunbeam streaming through the windshield of my truck, and as I watched, it grew longer and longer. Then suddenly it was gone. As quickly as it appeared, it was gone. Where, I wondered, did it go? Then I noticed that the trees along the highway were blocking the sun. Sure enough, as soon as I had driven past the trees, there was the sunbeam again, as bright as ever. Then I came to the realization the inner peace that I thought had forsaken me this very morning was still with me. It had only been blocked out by my negative thoughts, in much the same way as the sunbeam was temporarily hidden by the trees. Having realized that this peace was always mine, I was able to enjoy the rest of the day. The little sunbeam taught me a very valuable lesson. Even if we think our path of enlightenment is closed, we must remember that it is still there and always will be. All we need to do is remove the obstacles and let the sunbeam lead us on. No matter how dark life may seem to be, this inner light is always there, just waiting to light our way. And so let's just close our eyes and feel that sunbeam of light. That's God. That's nature. That's the mountains and the trees and the oceans and the rivers. It's the Mother Earth planet. It's all people. It's all everyone and everything. It's in us. God is, I am, we are. And it's so great to feel that oneness with all the light of God. In us, of us, through us, and all around us. With the angels, with all sentient beings. And so in this springtime and regeneration and rebirth, we just feel the energies of God renewing and rejuvenating and reminding us and remembering the truth of who we are. We are one. And so I'm so grateful that this service is available to all of us through the One Heart, One Mind community, and for Reverend Michelle and her wonderful talents and gifts, and all of you to be a part of this oneness and togetherness and connectedness. It really feels wonderful to be a part of this one with all of you and spirit. So I know that today's service is perfect in every way and beautiful. And I know that as we feel the gratitude for all that is and all that was and all that will be in this very moment, God is good. We release this prayer into the law, knowing it is so. And we simply say, and so it is.
Oh, beautiful. I loved that story. What a beautiful metaphor for grace. It's beautiful. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Oh, and I do have the affirmation. This is the last Sunday we're doing our April affirmation. Can you see that, Ralane?
Yeah, especially with my glasses. Today I bask in the light of God. I see the light, joy, and peace of God, shimmering in all things. I see the entire world aglow with light. I am light. You are light. There is only the light of God, and I'm so grateful. And so it is.
Seems very appropriate after your story. Thank you so much. And Jessie. That's Jessie.
Let's take some of that light and just stay with it. Knowing that our deepest expression is when we are letting that light of God, that light of love, shine through us as us. Let the light come through like a door wide open. Let it all be new. All that once was broken, let the light come through. Like a hearth in winter, let it fill the room, ever warm and tender. It lives in me, it lives in you. So let the light come through. Let the light come through. Like a sacred morning, all hope renewed. See the world transforming, illuminate the places in the dark, and let your life be like a blazing star. Remember that the light is where you are. It lives in me, it lives in you. So let the light come through. Let the light come through. There's no need for hiding. It was always you. Ever golden shining, illuminate the places in the dark, and let your life be like a blazing star. Remember that the light is where you are. It lives in me, it lives in you. It lives in me, it lives in you. It lives in me, it lives in you. So let the light come through.
Beautiful. That was like a prayer. Just a beautiful prayer. Well, good morning again. And welcome to One Heart, One Mind Center for Spiritual Living. And as always, whether you're in real time on the screen right now, or you're listening to replay, I'm just glad that you're connecting with us. So welcome. And as always, I trust that something in this service is a gift to you. Something awakens in you, something uplifts you to the place where you recognize and experience the magnificence that is you. So just know that you are always welcome in this space, in our center, and that we know who you are. So, well, after that song, I'm having to come back into my logical mind because I was in my heart. This morning's message it's sort of an extension of the Easter theme from last week when we talked about transformation and resurrection. And today is the power of regeneration. And from a spiritual perspective, regeneration is simply a process of inner renewal, a shift in awareness that perceives life from our divine identity rather than just our human identity. It's a realignment with our divine nature so that we can resonate at the level of our wholeness and our innocence and our unity with Source, with God, that we can feel that magnificence of who we are in God. Reminds me of the biblical quote from Romans, "Be ye transformed by the renewing of the mind." And the renewing of the mind, to me, speaks to the renewing of not only our conscious mind, but of our subjective mind, which we talk a lot about in the science of mind philosophy and metaphysics in general. And while our conscious mind holds what we're thinking about right now, it sometimes feels like it's a freeway of thoughts, racing through all the time, some catching our attention and others just passing by. Our subconscious or subjective mind is the part of us that internalizes the repetition of what goes on in our conscious mind and our conscious thought. It creates the neural pathways. Our conscious mind creates the neural pathways that become our habitual thinking and feeling and ultimately become our state of being, which we hold in the subjective mind. And a lot of what's in our subjective mind is formed from our past experiences that we relive over and over again. And from what we've learned from our parents and our common culture. And here's the thing, our subjective mind, it doesn't argue or reason. It just accepts. It says, oh, this is what we're doing today. And as Ernest Holmes, our founder, told us, the subjective mind is create. Oh, that's it. Sorry, a space for a minute. The subjective mind is creative, but not selective. It doesn't choose, it only knows. And so to truly have a renewing of the mind or to regenerate, realign with our divine nature, we have to reprogram our subjective mind and replace our old habitual thoughts and feelings, which have become beliefs, when we have to exchange them for the unchangeable and constant spiritual principles of universal truth, to feel our oneness with them, to know that there's this creative power and presence that we're one with, and that nothing we think or feel or do in our humanness can change that. It's the reality of who we are. And it's from this source that we regenerate our lives, to keep with our talk title. And through the renewing of our subjective mind, by standing on that foundation of divine identity, that's what we express or experience or manifest into our human lives. So I read this story that it really touched me, actually, about this idea that all life is connected to this foundational presence and power, and that while its form might change, it's constant. No matter what happens in the outside world, there is a constancy of life. And so this is a true story. And it's from a book called The Book of Hope by an author named Douglas Abrams. And he tells this story that in Nagasaki, the city where the second atomic bomb was dropped at the end of World War II, that the fireball that was produced by the nuclear explosion reached temperatures that were equivalent to the sun. Can you imagine? Millions of degrees. It was like a lunar landscape. And scientists predicted that nothing would grow for decades. But amazingly, 2 500-year-old camphor trees survived. Only the lower half of their trunks was left, and not a single branch or leaf or anything, but they were alive. And one of the surviving trees has now grown back into its original magnificence, to keep with that word of God as the magnificence of life. But, if you look closely at the tree that has grown back to its fullness, you can still see on its thick trunk the cracks and the fissures that were made when the blast happened, when the bomb was dropped. But here's the thing, every single spring, the tree puts out new leaves. And many Japanese regard it as this holy monument to peace and survival. And they write prayers on parchment and they hang them from the tree's branches in memory of all those who died and to honor the resiliency, the constancy of life. We could say that it's the regeneration of life, that life never dies, even if it happens slowly and in increments in our linear and time-based world. Which brings me to another story, 2 stories in a row. This one's, well, it's not really a story. It's a quote from a book called A Hidden Wholeness by author Parker Palmer. And I love this. He describes this idea of life happening in increments in this way. He said, I don't know who coined the phrase, every day in every way I'm getting better and better, but he or she must have had a great fantasy life. In my decades of living my own life unfoldment has not been an ever onward and upward pattern. It's always been up and down and back and forth. I follow the divine rhythm for a while and then I fall out of sync with it. Can you relate to this? Because I really can't. And we talked about this last week a bit, how our spiritual unfoldment, our transformation and resurrection, which was last week's topic, tends to come in increments, not in a flash of light from heaven. There have been plenty of times when I fell out of sync. And thank goodness, for my spiritual practice and my dedication to the principles of science of mind, I could realign myself. I could regenerate and get back in the flow. And I think this is just part of the human condition, losing and finding our true self. I've suggested over the past weeks that while our quiet moments of meditation and quiet contemplation serve as the foundation for our intimate connection with Source, these are the moments when we really feel that resonance. It's a very, very powerful spiritual practice is simply living. If we encounter everything as an opportunity to deepen in our divine nature and not as a reason to feel threatened or victimized or, oh no, why is this happening to me? Then life becomes this ongoing spiritual practice and we can do it with joy. The unfolding of life can be a call for us to live from that same life essence that the camphor tree came back to life from, that unchangeable, constant foundation of life that is infinite and always available. Michael Beckwith suggests that in these challenging moments, in challenging situations, we run into people that we find challenging, that it might be helpful for us to ask the empowering question, how can I get better than this? How can life get better than this? And then that pulls us back into spiritual truth and what is possible in this situation. As I was putting together my talk, I thought of that Hindu saying, neti neti, which means not this, not this. It's the realization that anything I can experience, I am not that. It's just an experience. It kind of calls us to, sometimes we use that image of an onion to let go of layer by layer of what we think we know. And what's left is this spaciousness, and the spaciousness for the reality of who we actually are to flow in and flow through us. And it's not this blank space. So it's not just empty. It's the emptiness that contains everything. It's the field of infinite potential that's within God, and therefore it's within us. It's a great space for regeneration. It's the spaciousness of neti neti, not this, not this. It's who we are in our godness. And it fills our subjective mind and begins to rewrite our thoughts and our feelings and ultimately changes our state of being. And it raises us up into a high vibration, the vibration of the resonance of God, which ultimately creates new experiences in our lives. So let's talk about some of the ways, some of the spiritual tools we can use to live from this divine creative potential within us, this neti neti. If I'm completely honest, sometimes even after years of practicing metaphysics, I still get it backwards. Sometimes I still try to create an environment that will make me happy, a place where I am financially secure, where I feel love, where I'm happy, healthy. But the truth is, it's only my inner environment that will create my outer environment. Do you ever fall into that creative trap? Yeah, it doesn't work. Or if it does work, it's unsustainable long term. And obviously, there's absolutely nothing wrong with wanting all of the good things in our life. We want to feel good, to be happy, to be loved, to feel safe and secure, and to live joyous and free human lives. I believe, no, I know beyond belief, I know that this is our birthright. And we can experience all these things, but not the material world is not the source of these things. Everything is sourced from the energy of life, from the energy of our oneness with source. Because as we say this a lot, consciousness always precedes form. And as I don't want to rush by this statement, I want us to feel it. What do we mean when we say consciousness precedes form? What is consciousness? So let's pause just there for a second. So according to Holmes, consciousness is the primordial creative ground of all things, basically first cause. Holmes said it's both universal intelligence, the whole dang thing, and the individual awareness that is within each of us. And recently I heard this definition of consciousness that I really liked. It's a guy named Thomas Campbell. He said that consciousness is awareness with choice. I like that. Awareness with a choice, which seems very accurate to me. And our choice is our intention. And our intention improves the probability that the outcome that we're choosing will demonstrate. Our faith in it, the conviction we hold behind our choice, improves the probability that our intention will demonstrate. That's why we align with our divine nature and why it's so important. There is nothing wishy-washy about the mind of God. It's clear, it knows, and that mind is our mind too. And we can align with that clear knowing without any doubt or any stuff that gets in the way, to just sit in that alignment with knowing that this is who we are, and to resonate at the vibratory level of what we are choosing: love, peace, abundance, wholeness, vitality, all of those things, joy. They're already in us, and spirit knows them so completely. When we are in alignment with that, we don't have to really think about it. We just have to be it. And it wasn't until I started studying metaphysics that I began to understand the meaning of this biblical saying. It came up for me as I was putting my talk together. It's Luke 25, and it always used to stump me. And the biblical saying is, for those who have, more will be given. And for those who do not have, even what they have will be taken away. I always thought, well, that's a little harsh. Who would take away from people that don't have anything? And then I realized that it was a way of teaching consciousness precedes form. For those that have refers to those who have cultivated an internal awareness of abundance, and they trust in its availability. More will be given means that as we align with these spiritual qualities, law responds by multiplying their expression. For those who do not have is speaking about those who are either unaware or disconnected from that inner source. Even what they have will be taken away means that fear and a belief in lack is a misuse of the law, causing stagnation and a lack of flow. Consciousness precedes all form. It's the teaching of the universal law. So be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. You know, it doesn't say, by the way, be ye transformed by the renewing of your bank account, or by the renewing of your relationships, or by the renewing of your job. We are transformed, we're made whole by the renewing of the mind, and I would say the heart. And then the other manifestations of good are the inevitable side effects of our renewing. It's so empowering to know that right now we have everything we need for this renewing to take place, to regenerate and experience the loving, happy, joyous soul that's wiggling around in there. You know, it's the truth of our being that we truly have everything we need. And when this becomes the knowing we hold in a subjective mind, then we kind of unconsciously stop the endless grasping for things outside of ourselves, you know. So we have all this energy to direct our attention inward to our God self. You know, what's the other saying from Jesus? Seek ye first the kingdom of God. You know, just like it's that one of those Eddie Watkins songs, seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all good things of this world will be added. So last week, after diving into the Easter message, which included some of the teachings of Jesus, it struck me how much I had disregarded Jesus as a great teacher. And I think it's because of my bias from my traditional religious upbringing. It's not that I, didn't grab a hold of some of his stories and his, famous one-liners, but I thought that I had really forgiven all that. But no, not completely. And it was kind of an aha moment for me. There are just so many metaphysical teachings from Jesus that are just so right on, like the one I just talked about. And fortunately for us, Ernest Holmes recognized this, and he used Jesus's teachings in a very non-traditional way to incorporate his belief that science and spirituality are saying exactly the same thing, just using different language. Probably one of the most standout teachings of Jesus that can now be proven scientifically through quantum physics is the kingdom of God is within you. From a traditional religious perspective, this didn't make any sense to me. I was taught that if I was good enough and become worthy enough, I would get to go to an actual place called heaven or the kingdom of heaven. I wasn't sure what we were going to do when we got there, but something good, I was sure. But now the kingdom of God is within me. From a metaphysical perspective, that makes so much more sense. Jesus taught that the divine isn't far away in the sky. It's within us. It's consciousness. And it's the essence of each individualized expression, all of us. It's God. And, another thing that Jesus said was, I'm saying that Jesus said, of course, all of these teachings of Jesus have been redacted and changed. So, but we're pretty sure for these lines that sound that are grounded in love and grounded in just beauty and truth, that they were attributed, that they can be attributed to him. Anyway, that's a whole different talk. But Jesus said also, anyone who believes in me will do the same works I have done and even greater. And I take that to mean that whoever rises to the level of his consciousness, that raises themselves up, can do exactly what he did, which was miracles and all kinds of stuff. Who knows exactly what happened? But anyway, quantum physics has now discovered that at the quantum level, all particles exist in multiple states of potential until they are observed. And when they are observed, they collapse into particles and become form, which supports the idea that by raising the level of our consciousness, we create at the level of God's good. Observing, or maybe we could call it choosing, where we put our attention, is not a passive act. It's causative. It's creative. and it holds the potential for our healing, for our wholeness, for our abundance, our peace. I could go on, for all of those qualities of the divine to express in our human lives. Everything begins within. Everything begins within consciousness, just as Jesus and so many other mystics have taught for thousands of years. So one more story. So there's this story about a woman who lived in a small coastal town, and she felt her life was stale. Ever feel that way? And uneventful. Nothing in her life ever changed. You know, the tide came in, the tide went out, day after day. And one day she found an old lantern sitting on the beach. And so she took it home, cleaned it up. And when she lit the lantern, her attention to everything deepened. She was present and in the moment. The beach seemed to wake up. Driftwood looked like ancient woodlands. Seashells gleamed like gems. And even the salt spray felt charged with potential and possibility. But nothing had really changed, just her perspective. And over time, the woman understood that by observing her world with non-judgment, free from expectation, and just being present with an open-hearted attention, she transformed or regenerated her entire life. Her new way of seeing collapsed. It was a choice. It collapsed the untapped potential within her, and she was able to see it in everything around her. She saw everything new and fresh, like this joyous tapestry of life. And of course, the moral of the story is that the lesson of the story is that what we choose to notice and how we hold our attention shapes the world we experience. Consciousness precedes form. We are at choice. What was the Thomas Campbell says, awareness, consciousness is awareness with choice. I love that. Awareness with choice. So I want to close, instead of doing a prayer at the end, with this like little short, but really powerful spiritual practice. And I ran across it and I thought, oh, this is perfect. You could do this in the middle of your busy day, but you just take 5 minutes. I mean, if you're at work or you're somewhere where you couldn't do it, just go sit in the bathroom for 5 minutes. You know, it's really a simple thing, but I've been doing it and it really does kind of put you into that place of awareness with choice. It's called the 3 realizations. And I'm going to invite you to do it with me if you feel comfortable. So first, let's take a breath. And we recognize our oneness with the infinite. Take another breath. Feel your oneness with that presence and power that is you, that witness self, the one who's noticing. And I'm going to repeat this. I would ask you, you could repeat it after I say it, but maybe that's the best way, just in your head. There is only one presence and power, the infinite, loving, intelligent source. It is everywhere, and it is in me now. So just drop that down into your heart and let it just fill you up, your oneness with the infinite. And now let's identify with the truth of this presence. I'll say this first, and then you can repeat it in your head or heart. I am one with the infinite. I am abundance. I am love. I am peace. I am health. I am vitality. I am joy. You can add any I ams that you want to experience. And again, just let this drop down into your heart. Fill your body with the resonance. And now we speak the increase of all these things. So you can say after me, I give thanks that the good I recognize is increasing now. I give thanks that the good I recognize is increasing now. My consciousness is cause. My consciousness is cause. I align with truth and it multiplies. I align with truth and it multiplies. Doesn't that feel good? Just a few moments of holding that space where everything exists. And we just said it and said it. Netty, netty. Ah, well, that felt good. What a good note to end on. Oh, so, I'm doing the conscious giving. I just was going to say, I don't know who's doing it, but I just remember I am. So in this space of breathing in life, and breathing out life, recognizing that infinite cycle of giving and receiving. Oh, the circulation of life itself. It's so beautiful, and we're so a part of it. And it's a part of every single part of our lives. The oxygen that comes in and the carbon dioxide that goes out, the rain that comes down and the plants that come up from it. Everything is this beautiful, incredible cycle, including money, which is just the tool, the vehicle, the symbol through which our energy of life that in our modern world is exchanged. And so I know that as I give, I receive multiplied. And it's from that sense of feeling that energy and that circulation, being in the flow, knowing that all needs are met, that what I give is in service to the whole. And what I receive is from the whole. You know, it's just that beautiful constancy of life moving through us. So I am honoring all people that give to One Heart, One Mind and continue to allow us to come together every week. And I am inviting you to continue to do that, to give and to receive. And, you know, we haven't talked about this in a long time, but actually, I'm bringing it up because I received $133.47 from, I don't know, it was one of those class action suit things and I just filled it out. And suddenly in my Venmo account, I had $133.47. It was unexpected income. So I am going to tithe on that, you know, because, you know, when we continue to prime the pump and continue to get in that flow, we just keep that flow going. So anyway, I wanted to remind us that all of those little things like unexpected income, they're just to be grateful for them and to continue the flow just keeps it happening. So if you receive unexpected income, we would love to have you tithe to us, and knowing that it will come back to you multiplied. So I suppose I should stop talking, and I think we all know the ways in which we can give, either on Venmo, which most people do. And then there's also, you can send a snail mail check, and a lot of people do that, and that works just fine. It now comes right to my house. And so if you don't know that address, I think all of you do, but if you don't know that address, pop me a text and I'll give it to you. But in the meantime, let's say our affirmation, which is right here. Everything flows from the nature of God's good. We give and receive from this flow of gratitude and love. We rest in the infinite giving nature of spirit. We've been calling this grace in our community. We had an evening of grace. And that's that infinite giving nature of spirit is grace. And so let's just do that. And announcements are pretty simple. This week we're doing our Monday night prayer group. We're having our Tuesday evening class, and we're doing chapter 2, which I think was You Are the Dreamer, something about dreams. And we're doing our book, The Universe Has Your Back. And it's pretty cool. I like it. Gabrielle, I can't remember her last name. But anyway, we're doing that. And then this Sunday, Point is having the what's it called? The Essence of Prayer Insights Through Interfaith at St. Bartholomew's, which, I've kind of been the organizer of that. And it's in the newsletter, but if you need the address or something, it's from 3 to 5 on Sunday afternoon in Poway. And it should be really great. And also we're going to Zoom it. And if you want the Zoom link, I'll send it to you. So I think that's about all I have there. And let me do a little benediction, and then Jesse can play for us. So once again, we take in that deep breath, just pausing to bless this beautiful body temple that we have, that received the breath and exhaled the breath. And I just give great thanks for this incredible service that we've had today. So we are so blessed to have Jessie and her amazing talent with us. I loved Ralane's story and the beautiful words she spoke in her invocation. And I am so deeply grateful and blessed and connected to everyone that is on the spiritual call today, and for everyone that I know will listen to it later. I just feel really, really blessed to be a part of this community, and to know that we are such a point of light and love, a powerful presence of God's good in the world. I'm so grateful. So grateful for this and so much more. I simply say thank you. I allow it to be, and we know together by saying, and so it is. All right, Jessie.
Well, I was inspired to sing this one, which is a new one that I've been singing, because oftentimes when I think about that knowing, it's almost like a leap of knowing. And you kind of have to just be like, yep, I know. And so this is a song called Jump, and it's about taking a leap of knowing. Another day goes by, will I say yes to myself? Or will I hide in my mind and leave my soul on the shelf? Another moment drifts and I'm rifling in the past. It's just more time that I won't get back. Oh, and I know there's an open door. Oh, don't know what I'm waiting for. but everything in my body said jump. There was a love between my feet and solid ground. Now every footprint I make is a romance fading out. There's a lesson in every barefoot summer fling, and it's that true love was always meant to turn your feet to wings. Oh, and I've never felt the sky before. I wonder how it feels to trust something unsure. And I've been climbing this mountain for as many years as I am old. And now that I'm here with a clear view from the top, well, there's only one way to go. And my mind said, honey, don't be dumb. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah! I'm flying! Woo! And I'd been climbing that mountain for as many years as I was old. And when I got there with a rare view from the top, there was only one way to go. And my mind said, honey, don't be dumb. But everything in my body said, jump.
Oh, that was great. I loved it. I love that song. You've never sung that one for us before.
I know, it's a new one.
But it's lovely. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of that poem, Come to the Edge, she said. You know that?
No, I don't know that poem.
The poem is, come to the edge, she said. We can't, we're afraid, they responded. Come to the edge, she said. We can't, we will fall, they responded. Come to the edge, she said. And so they came, and he pushed them, and they flew.
Yeah.
Oh, great, I love that. That's what it reminded me of. It's like, oh yeah, you gotta jump. And you're totally right that it's that leap of knowing, leap of faith, leap of knowing. It's like, instead of, there's that part of you that wants to second guess. Oh, is this real? Oh, is this really? Just jump. Just jump into that knowing. Just let it hold you. Just let it embrace you. There it is. Oh, love it, love it, love it. Thank you for that.
You're so
All
welcome.
right. I am going to stop our recording and say goodbye to our Facebook people. Let me put my glasses on to do that. That might be helpful. Here we go. Stop. And stop the recording.